up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, honey. I was talking for 20 minutes. I was talking for 20 minutes, and the mic was not on. I'm so annoyed. Anyways, I don't even feel like repeating myself, but we talking about Denaya Jackson, and her foolishness, and how she really is the embodiment of a pick-me, and all of the things that she endured, being trying to be chosen and waiting to be picked, all the things she went through. I watched the second part yesterday, and I was just thinking, like, hold on, that thing was hot. Why did I have the heater on? I was wondering why I was getting hot. I'm supposed to have the cool on. Anyways, so what I was saying was all the things that she was enduring, and how literally she is a literal, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, girl, we down here. The reason why I just started talking was because I was talking for 20 minutes exactly, and the damn mic wasn't on. Yeah, this is good. You too close. Denaya. Girl, the things that you went through, and for the length of time, what I was saying when I realized the mic wasn't on was that I think a part of one of the things, let me say, I said so much stuff. First of all, I think Derick Jackson must have kids all over Atlanta, because there's no way you was running through Atlanta the way you was running through Atlanta, and there's no other children out there. It's no way she was the only one getting pregnant. It's no way she was the only one having raw sex with you. It's no way. That's number one. Number two, him financially abusing her, cutting her phone off. He was getting ready to start financially abusing her. What I started the video off saying was that I do not think, if he didn't file for divorce, that she would be gone. I think she would still be dealing with the mess that she was dealing with for all those years. He done told her he had sex with 100 people in his lifetime. So you didn't sleep with the same 100 people, boo-boo. You didn't sleep with the same 100 people. You don't know where nobody's been. And you holding out to feel like you've won this prize. And what I was saying was that a lot of the culture in church kind of grooms girls to women to endure the abuse for the sake of being married. And then part of that pick me kind of mentality is like, I'm not going to let another woman get him, and I'm living this life like I'm living. I'm not about to give that up to no bitch. No bitch is about to win my man. And your man is a raggedy piece of garbage. And I feel like religion has a lot to do, not the religion, but the culture. You understand what I'm saying? The people who gatekeep the religion, the people who you consider a mentor or a counselor. That's another thing I said. I hope Jesus is not her therapist, and I hope her pastor is not her counselor either. Unless the pastor got letters behind their names, you need to go to a licensed therapist who works with families, a marriage counselor. What do they call y'all? LV, what is it? LFMTs, or is it LMFTs? Whatever, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Somebody who deals with marriages and families. Not, and like I said, unless you're a pastor, got some letters behind their name, you don't need to be sitting down with them, because I feel like the advice that you're going to be given is going to be male centered. It's going to serve him more than it serves her, because that's just the structure, because within the religion is a tentacle of patriarchy. I mean, you pray to a male deity. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, you can't get no deeper than that, right? The fact that she went to a male to have this interview, and he's laughing, and like I said again, he's laughing because because at the end of the video, he shares that he did the same thing to his wife. I don't know the details, but he basically said he cheated on his wife multiple times. He did the whole writing the names down, which I don't know what writing the names down of the women your man screwed, unless you want to look them up later to see if your children have any siblings. I guess that would be the only reason, because that's not going to change his behavior. He writing names down, writing 100 names down to say how many people he done had sex with. He don't remember. There's Derick Jackson. Denaya ain't the only one with children by Derick Jackson in Atlanta. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I feel like dude was laughing because he did the same thing similar to his ex-wife, and he was probably like, damn, he was really getting over on you, and you was gonna stay for how long? I feel like if Derick Jackson didn't tell Denaya that he wanted a divorce, she would still be sitting up there going through it for the Lord. I really feel like the religion part, like you saw them, right? We saw clips of them standing in a church, him looking like, he didn't really want to be there, but we putting on a show. He telling her, "You gonna blow the spot up if you let the girls know that I'm married." Blow the spot up, bitch. You lucky I don't blow this house up. That's what you lucky I don't blow. No, I don't, girl. I was thinking like, what? And then the fact, like I said, she was on her pick me shit, and this is why you can't operate like that. Look at the shit that she endured just so that she can keep her man, right? Her and this other guy conspiring these things where we have similar cars and we're going to go out racing. Y'all playing these games from the age of 19, and she's only 33 years old. The amount of trauma that she has endured, not just by him. That's when people are like, oh, she came into the relationship effed up. She did. She did. She needed to be in therapy for what happened to her. She did. I want to read some of your comments, because some of your comments was reminding me of stuff like, okay, yeah, I know she was down there. She was down there cussing y'all out, saying y'all, they talked about that. Your children will be vagabonds with no bread to eat. I was just using the word. And like I was saying earlier, the word has been used to hang some of your ancestors, sweetheart. They did that in the name of Jesus, okay? Girl. I know she was trying to be funny, but that's the pick me in her. And we find out that she did that after he asked for a divorce. Like I said, she wouldn't have left. If he didn't divorce her, she would not have left him. She would still be there fighting for her man, my man, my man. Because another part of that, and I'm going to read some of your comments, another part of that is that she was literally in a competition. Like, I'm this awkward girl. I don't get the attention from men or whatever. And now this guy is giving me attention. He's making money. Like, we making money at some point. But before the money was being made, he was still cheating on her. Like I said, I don't think at any point in time he was not cheating on her in their relationship. I can't even imagine the how her pH balance was off, because girl, you're not, if he is that reckless, he's that reckless. He's not using protection with every single one of these women unless they're telling him to. Girl, and you still fighting for this man, and he's treating you so horribly. I feel like a lot of her behavior came from this fanatical idea that she had, this fanatical relationship that she has with Christianity. I do. I really do. I was like, he asked for a divorce. She was like, okay. And then he goes online and says, if you are vulnerable with somebody and they respond, okay, that's manipulative. I feel like they were both playing a game with each other, and he just bowed out at a certain point. Like, she was willing to endure the abuse, because she even said that she was still married under the eyes of God. Don't put God in this. Don't put God in this, ma'am. Don't do that. You're married. You're still married under the girl. And I went to his page and I was watching his videos, right? And he hasn't posted since, I think, unless he has another page, 2022, I believe. And I watched two videos and I was like, he's literally talking to himself. He's literally warning you about him and men like him. And you're sitting there like the guy said in the comments, and y'all being nourished off of this guy because you're male identified. You value a man's word over and everybody else's, and he must be giving me good advice that's going to serve me. And meanwhile, he's terrorizing this woman. And she's enduring the terrorism because of some weird relationship she has with her faith. I feel like one of the things that I was watching or trying to listen for is if she said she had any women around her, to tell her, hey, you don't deserve this. You should not be going through this. But I feel like she isolated herself from her family because, one, you're hella embarrassed about what you're dealing with, right? Take your L's in private. You're hella embarrassed. And then she didn't tell her mom what she was going through until I guess she got to her wits' end when he had an apartment in Midtown, running through everybody in Midtown. I'm sure the women were passing each other up on the stairs in Midtown. I'm sure of it. There is an air of desperation in Atlanta because there are so many black gay men that when a straight woman finds a black straight man in Atlanta, she is going to try to hold on to him hook or crook. Okay? I'm telling you, it's real. But not just in Atlanta, everywhere. Okay? So I don't want anybody to get down and say it's not just Atlanta. I know they are everywhere. They in Huntsville too. Shit. And you go to a man because the Lord told you to go there. Okay. I'm all for fasting, meditation, praying, doing all the things you need to do to find the answer, to hear what needs to be done, what your next step should be. She said she had a list of 13 things that he needed to do before she came back after leaving for 8 months. She left him for 8 months. And I guess he promised an empty promise and said he wasn't going to do this. They were going to renew their vows. He was going to give her all of the names of the women he screwed. Like I said, I guess to figure out, these, honey, I don't know what you needed their names for. And it's not like he can't call them and be like, I got a new number. And if you get to a point where you got to do that with somebody, where they have to write down names of the women they're screwing, number one, we're already too far gone. Like, if you get to that point, ladies, if you get to a point where you're sitting down at the table the kitchen table with your man, my man, my man, and you are asking him to write down the names of the women he's had sex with, change his phone number so, they can't contact him. I don't care if it's business. I don't care how many followers they have. If you're to that point where you're going through doing all of this labor, he's not worth it. And you deserve better than that. You actually deserve, I don't want to say that. You actually need to be on your own. And I'm glad that she said she's not looking for anybody to date right now. She's working on herself and her ministry and blah, blah, blah. Because until she, I don't know if I would, I mean, I feel like she said there will be professional, help and assistance there because of course, she's not a therapist. And there will be people there in her ministry or whatever kind of boot camp or whatever she's going to be doing. But when it gets to the point where he needs to change his number. They lived in a 9,000 square foot home somewhere in Atlanta or outskirts of Atlanta, but he wants to rent an apartment or condo in Midtown so that he can do his videos there. Girl, you telling me there's people who make videos every day and they live in less than 1,200 square feet making videos, and you tell me you can't make a studio in a 9,000 square foot home? You can actually make four studios. You telling me you can't take a room, soundproof it, and make your videos out of there? Even make each wall a different scenario so you can switch up your background whenever you want to switch it up? Girl, shut up. And then you agree to it. He cuts her phone off at one point. If you ever get to the state where you're going through stuff like that, she said she had to go to the hospital. I think she said she went to the doctor because she was bleeding out of different places. She was losing weight because she wasn't eating. They were trying to get her to eat. I'm telling you, when I was being mistreated by my son's father, I was telling my mom and his mom. I was telling them what he was doing. And I'm telling you, I know it's hard because a lot of women deal and go through this stuff with nobody knowing because it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing to be dealing and even accepting this, even accepting the fact that he wrote down 100 people's names and y'all been together since y'all were 19. That's his lifetime. If he started having sex at 16, if he started counting at 19, it's still his lifetime. In his lifetime, he's had sex with 100 women, and you've had sex with those women too. Girl, I can't do it. Ladies, no. In my relationships, I, have never caught anybody cheating on me. If they cheated on me, I never knew about it. But I was reading the comments and somebody was like, I had to tell my ex's new partner, she literally had to say, girl, you won. You got him. I had a woman tell me, honey, my son's father went and got married. Like I said, I tell y'all the story when the one time I think I met her, I think she was picking them, when we were trading the kids off and she was with him. And I said I wanted to look at her and tell her don't do it. Because one of the things that a pick-me will do is whatever story he tells her about your relationship, she's not going to believe you. She's going to believe him. Anything he tells her, she's going to believe it. And at one point, like I said, I wanted to be like, girl, don't do it. But I said, you know what? She deserves happiness for however long it lasts. But then she got to the point where you antagonizing me and acting like at one point told me I wanted her life and I was jealous of her for no actions from me would have gave her any indication that I was jealous, as if I didn't leave him. Like I'm thinking to myself, he must have told her he left me, but you was put out of a house. So I girl, like I said, she probably believed everything he said. And like I said in the comment, she married him, changed her name, my man, my man, my man. You married a man who mistreated this woman. You saw it. You saw it. You know that he hit her. You know that. And you still went on and married him and really had the nerve to tell her who left him, you're jealous and want my life. She ended up being a CNI dog because the nigga done had a couple strokes, is now legally blind. Yes, ma'am. Now he can't see who he hits. Okay. Now you legally blind, baby. I guess she done had enough of his shit because she's left his ass too. And I said, what kind of motherfucker do you have to be for a woman to leave you and you blind? Ooh, child, you must be a piece of work. Now, if he gets with another woman after he done had all these women leave him, if he's able to find another woman, God bless her. If a woman left you, bitch, if a pick-me leaves you and you blind, I used to think to myself, she's not gonna leave him because he's blind. But girl, ain't no, you gotta be a nasty motherfucker for somebody to leave you and you blind. Girl, what? Girl, I feel like screaming to the top of my lungs. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these women they'll come right back after you and get with the man who mistreated you and will really antagonize you and be like, you want my life and you jealous of me. Girl, what gave you that impression? Girl, what have I done to give you the impression that I wish that I was a CNI dog instead of you? Girl, no ma'am. You won, girl. You won, chick. That's crazy. It is. I want to read some of y'all comments. But yeah, you down there, Denaya, you down there cussing the people out, cursing them over this man. That's what I'm saying. You went to a male person to interview a man who has done the same thing to a woman that Derick did to you. You go to him and I guess felt safe enough to share your story as he laughs throughout it. I'm sure it was a combination of, damn, he really did all this to you. Damn, you stayed for that long. Damn, this is crazy. Damn, he really did a number on you. To a little bit of nervousness, but a lot when she was explaining that the girls were passing each other on the stairs. That's another thing. In the comments, y'all kept telling me that when she was passing women on the stairs, they weren't together. They weren't married. They were on their off break and she was still getting dick appointments, but she was still dealing with this man as if I'm still a player in this game that I'm playing with Derick. I'm still a player. I'm not going to hang up my jersey because I'm going to win him. That's literally like I was saying earlier. We throw around pick me and it's supposed to be an insult. It is supposed to be an insult because you are choosing to do whatever it takes, deny yourself, dishonor yourself, lie to yourself for the sake of being in a relationship with someone who mistreats you, someone who is having sex with multiple women. When they say straight black women have the highest of new cases of HIV cases, girl, part of it, I don't know what it can be from. If the niggas is on the down low, they screwing, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to be on the down low screwing other men for you to catch an STD, because we're not gonna play into that stigma. The truth is he's sleeping with other women. and y'all sharing these men, but claim y'all in monogamous relationships. Now I'm getting on y'all. Yesterday we empathized with going through foolishness, but now it's like, no. There's no reason, like from the age of 19 and for her to only be 33 years old, to have gone through all of that. And like I was saying earlier, it's part of it is I'm this awkward nerd girl, chubby at one point, and this dark skin, buff. I was looking at his hands yesterday. I told you I went and saw his videos. I was like, that nigga's hands are so big. And somebody asked in the comments, did she ever mention any physical abuse? No. He was doing psychological, emotional, and about to get her on financial abuse, cutting her phone off. And you put yourself, because y'all feel like you deserve to be taken care of, and she put herself in a situation to be taken care of. He's taking care of everything. She's not going to give up that lifestyle. You're going to fight the next woman. That's why a lot of women don't leave. A lot of women don't leave. Somebody was saying, something about cheating. We are in a society, once again, where boys to men are given an excuse. The excuse for their bad behavior is built into their identity. Boys will be boys. Men will be men. So when they misbehave, you're like, oh, that's just who they are. And it's not. It's how they're socialized to be. And the people around them who feed into that socialization. And so part of that bad behavior that people are willing to accept over and over again is cheating. Putting your life at risk, physically abusing you, mentally and emotionally abusing you by cheating on you, like literally putting your life at risk. And so women are more likely to accept a man's bad behavior because she has been taught, one, this backwards idea that they develop slower than you, but when you get old enough, they turn around and tell you they should lead you. I thought the motherfucker developed slower than me, and now all of a sudden, as we're adults, he's all of a sudden in the lead. He's all of a sudden head of household. He's all of a sudden the person that needs to lead me when I actually was the one to develop faster than him. And then y'all sit in the background and run their businesses. And the fact, this to me, this is why I know she was on some pick me shit, because you've seen his videos. You know the message that he's saying. And he is the embodiment of the man that he's talking about. And you sat there and didn't tell him, you need to stop lying to these people. You need to stop sitting. Like, did that interviewer ask her, how did you feel? Like, she need to go on another interview. How did you feel knowing that he was warning women about himself, and then literally created a business so that he can have access to more women while you help him run that business? You know I'm his wife. No, I had no idea, honey, while I'm rubbing on his big old chest. And furthermore, she didn't even care. She wouldn't care if they don't care that he had a wife. All y'all pick-me's are going to compete for this trash bag of a man. Girl. Honey, he would have been. And then you up in that house by yourself, a 9,000 square foot home. You start hearing noises and paranormal activity in the house. You got to leave. You leave, he leaves, your mom comes, her mom comes, they pack up everything and they leave. And by the time they get to Denver, he's there. He done flew there already. Unless he had a tracking device on you, how the hell did he know that you were going to be there? Because he had turned her phone off because they were having financial issues. What? If you're having financial issues, the first thing, we're not turning no phones off. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of that condo in Midtown. That's the first expense we're going to cut. Okay? If we're having financial issues, because you needed to film there. And the fact that I'm trying to figure out, like, when you're in it, that's why it's embarrassing, and that's why you isolate yourself, and they isolate you as well. But you isolate yourself because you know in your right mind, because she said she was talked to somebody and they told her she was a broken conscious woman. Yes, because you're consciously doing these things, fighting for this man who mistreats you. You're fighting for somebody to hold on. It's almost as though you see this man as a rose with all his thorns sticking out, and you hold on to the rose while you just bleed to death. As long as you got this rose, the damn thorns are in your hand and blood is trickling down your forearm, but you got the rose. And then you grabbing it with other women, trying to, because you won. Girl, no. If you get to like you, it's like you have to at a certain point. I know for me, I looked myself in the mirror and I asked myself, did I want to do this for the rest of my life? Did I want my children to witness somebody mistreating me? That's one of the rules that I had, especially after everything was said and done. I said to myself, I don't ever want to be in a situation where my sons witness someone mistreating me. I will never put myself and them in that position. They will never be able to say, I saw somebody mistreating my mom. The last relationship I was in started to get where the boys were old enough to witness. I said, no, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. When you get to a point where you're having a mental breakdown, it's a wrap. Like I said, I feel like the religion part is what kept her there. Like, you gonna fight for your man. You have this socialization. You've been SA'd. You've been abandoned by your father. He died when you were 12. You were vying for his attention when he was alive. He didn't pay attention to you. So you wanted to be a tomboy so he could pay attention to you. Then you're SA'd. Then you jump into a relationship with another abusive person. And then you go through these things where you feel like you have to hold on to this person. I wonder what her mom was telling her. She said at one point, when he got to Denver, the mom was like, you need to get off the phone with him and this and that. I guess her mom didn't know because she had isolated herself. She was going through all this shit and she probably doesn't have any friends. That's another thing, because I was like, because you know what happens, right? What happens? You get a man, and slowly but surely, depending on how old you are and where you are in your maturity and things like that, you start spending less time with your girlfriends. And then your girlfriends tell you, hey, I don't really like the way he talks to you. And then you cut her off. Or you stop speaking to her. Y'all not going to brunch like you used to. And because you're so worried about him, you running his business, also sneaking into his phone, trying to figure out, watching images of him. The psychological abuse she put herself through by watching images of him have sex with other women and not confront him. She's lucky she didn't poison his ass and then blow the house up. Let me read some of y'all comments, girl. I got another video that I made yesterday that I'll post that before I post this. But hold on, let's look at the comments. Her first name sounds like the word denial. Very interesting. Whoa. I know an ex-couple whose wife agreed to a threesome in order to try to keep her husband. Now they are divorced and she blames the entire family for it. I first saw the story on TikTok and all I could say about it is there are so many men like this that it's disgusting to even fathom. The lack of respect they show women is just nasty. Madame Noir says the interview was good, but I was annoyed by the interviewer. His constant laughing was excessive, distracting, and disrespectful. Like I said earlier, I feel like it was a combination of things. Somebody says I see clips of him on the blogs. I've never watched any of his shows, but they say he laughs like that a lot. So maybe he's just, maybe nervous. And some people don't know how to respond. And another person said in the comments, a lot of black people, a lot of us laugh in response to pain and trauma, like the laughter is a trauma response. I thought that was very interesting, and I feel like there's some truth to that. And I figure it was a culmination of things, along with, damn, I can't believe she allowed this for so long. He was really getting over on her. Some men applaud other men for getting over on women, or for a woman, enduring the amount of pain that they can have a woman endure. And then another part of that pick me, thought pattern is that they see your loyalty as, and when you hear men who finally get married to the woman they've been with forever, and when you listen to or ask them, why do you love her? They tell you, because she put up with my shit. I put her through so much. It's this, she went to war. They went to war, and the battle wounds that she has for trying to stay in relationship with him, all the things he put her through, that's why I ended up with her. She has the most battle scars. She went to war and she slayed all the other women. I did this, and this, and she's still here. That ride or die mentality. And you up there looking crazy, edges gone, cortisol levels irregular, bank account looking crazy. And then she was dependent on him too. Y'all say y'all want a man, my man, to take care of everything. He was taking care of everything. And as soon as she wanted to leave, as soon as she made it seem like whatever, he's cutting off her phone. What you cutting off my phone for? We had business. What? Financial issues, girl. Girl, no. Here, I'm about to read some other comments. I know of women who stayed with their men after they found out they were cheating, especially if they were married. And I said, I think this happens because we're programmed to believe men will be men. So cheating is more acceptable for them than it is for women. And also, some women don't want to lose to another woman either. That's straight up pick me shit. This one says, this started in college, her snooping, watching him have sex with others, accepting whatever, him lying, being deceitful, cheating. Then she later married and procreated also. Ain't no way. I wonder what she thought would happen once they got married. Yes, Derick isn't ain't shit, NIGGA, but she need to take some ownership. She did. She said, I participated in this. She even went through to the lengths of hiring or enlisting the help of a male friend to make him jealous. Bitch, he was probably looking at y'all racing while he was fucking somebody else, girl. He didn't care. You had him change his number. And he still winded up. You act like, this is the part where I say it gets delusional, because you act like you telling him to do this, and this, and this is going to change the behavior. And I want to ask him, because he asked her, do you think he would come on here? And she was like, no. I don't think anybody has interviewed him about this situation. And I'm wondering how he still has supporters when he's literally the man that he's trying to warn you about. He is the embodiment of the man he's warning you about. He's a F boy and she's a pick me. Okay, let's read some more comments. Now, she's a true definition of a pick-me because the phrase gets overused, but she had reason like most of them do. She had untreated trauma and self-esteem issues. But I think I honestly believe that we are programmed to have some self-esteem issues. Images that we see in magazines. You know, I feel like a lot of little girls get self-esteem issues, especially in the era of social media, because, and then they said a lot of little girls, they are developing depression and anxiety. What's happening is, my theory is that they follow all the, they follow all their friends and stuff on social media. The boy that they like, they see what the boy likes because they can see what they like. They can see their name on pictures of the girls that they like, because that's what little boys are looking at on the internet, porn and playing video games. Okay, so they looking at these altered bodies online, and this is what they like. And the little girl is looking at herself, not realizing, okay, I haven't developed yet, but I want to look like the girls that he likes. Just like Denaya said that she was studying the women that he was having sex with. So somehow she's able to hack into his phone. So you're playing this game with this man. You're literally in this game with this man, playing this game. And you are able to see him having sex with other women to the point where you try to mimic how these other women are acting, hoping that he will still choose you. You are watching this man that you call your husband have sex with other women that you are studying. She said she knew other women's bodies better than she knew her own, trying to mimic how they were having sex with him and hoping to do the same thing and hoping that if I do what they did, he'll pick me. I think we are programmed to have self-esteem issues. You know, the beauty industry banks on you believing that you can just fix something else because you just can't, right? The cosmetic surgery industry, people changing their body so they can be more desirable to other people. There are some women, yes, some not all. There are some who are changing their bodies for their own self-esteem, but a large majority is trying to change their body so they can be desirable to an onlooker. The fact that she chose this insensitive interviewer that keeps laughing to help tell her story shows me she's not healed. Why is dude laughing so much? Maybe I'm overlooking something, but the women are applauding her for willing to work through a marriage that is stagnant, where he is emotionally and abusive and unstable, and just overall a shitty person scares me. She doesn't speak for every woman, and I will not use religion as a crutch. She's a very scary person, and so is Derick. She knows that she needs healing, but yet here we are still hearing her yell and scream about religion instead of healing. That's the part that I said. I think a lot of the part, and I'm not talking about the religion or the doctrine. I'm talking about the culture and the gatekeepers of that religion, who like, TD Jakes, he got on the internet and told y'all was too masculine. Y'all have put yourself in position where a man he's not needed, and men need to feel needed. If you are dealing with a man who needs you to make him feel like a man, that's not a fucking man. I'm sorry. You don't need a woman to make you feel like a man. You don't. And if you are around a man that tells you, I just need a woman, I need you to, or can emasculate you, you're supposed to be the head of household, the leader, and this and that, and you say a woman can emasculate you, girl, go somewhere. Get out of here. Go somewhere with that. My only thing is that I remember quite recently how she was cursing everyone to hell and wishing death on people for speaking on her man and their situation, which I think is partly why people haven't been able to feel for her. But I acknowledge that that response she had before was most likely a result of being swept up by him and not having been healed from the traumatic experiences she went through. That was Miss Laverne. Here's another one. This is from Mochahantis. The thing with the daughter's skin tone is so weird because why were you thinking about how desirable she would be to her father? Yeah. And then she turned around and said that her SA trauma came from a caregiver when she was a child. So it's been done to you. That really disturbed me. Yeah, this is a woman that said, my child, this is Marisha, my child's father's BM was a pick-me type. He was definitely not the ideal mate for me, so we broke up unrelated to cheating. She was harassing me so that I had to literally tell her she won. You won, sis. Crazy. Fast forward, he got her pregnant again, and he stole her checks and ran off. That's why I said, ain't that some mess? My child's father got married. She ignored the Yelp review, and of course she believed everything he told her. She was awful. She even told me I was jealous of her and wanted her life based on no actions of mine. I don't know what gave her that impression. At one conversation, she told me that I followed her on Twitter, and she was actually following me on Twitter, which is crazy. Because I'm like, girl, I wouldn't even know where to look for you. Like, girl, get out of here. Not sure how she gathered that. Fast forward, he had a couple of strokes and is legally blind, and it took her a few years, but she finally left his ass. I said, you have to be a raggedy motherfucker for a woman to leave you and you're blind. Girl, that tickles me. It really does. Someone says, your comments were spot on. This is Texas Rose 31. Your comments were spot on. I traveled down her path, church fanatic and all, and lost so much time. Finally moved on and I'm thriving beyond all measure. It's such a battle mentally, and I'm glad she's on her healing journey. I saw both parts, and while she has made some progress, it's clear she has some ways to go. She does, because listen, honey, listen, Linda. That was only, sounds like it was maybe 18 months ago that all of this stuff happened, right? 2021, 2022, we're in the middle of 2023. And this is something that you just left after being in it since you was 19. How long is that? 16 years? How long is that? 33. She's 33 now. 14 years. You've been dealing with this for 14 years, and you think in 18 months you are able to, I don't know, it's a lot of work she has to go through, because like I said, she was playing along. That's when you know you're so deep in it, when you're playing the game with him and you are fighting for a man who mistreats you. That's how you know you're too far gone. When you are fighting for this man who has mistreated you for years, over a decade, you are fighting for him to pick you. And every time he decides, oh yeah, I don't want you to leave, you fall right back into the trap. I'm going to make a list of rules that you have to abide by in order for us to be together. Okay, girl, what are the rules, girl? And in a week, he's cheating on her again. 2 weeks, cheating on her again. You haven't done anything for this man to change behavior. The only thing, like I said, if he did not file for divorce, I truly believe she would still be right there. I went to her page too, and I remember when they were going through this stuff, I remember reading her Instagram where she was talking about watching other women. And that's what I was like, where is she? Is she in the closet watching other women have sex with her husband? Girl, I don't understand why girl, it's no telling why she didn't poison his ass, girl. It's a mess. She said it's clear she had some ways to go, especially in the second part where she doubles down on cursing people and people's kids. She doesn't feel like she said anything wrong. She doesn't feel like she said anything wrong because it came from the Bible. Honey, the people will use the Bible for what they want to use it for. The KKK uses the Bible, okay? Okay? That's a Christian organization. Look it up. Okay. It says in the first part, she speaks of abandonment issues because of her father, but most importantly, she met Derick weeks after being SA'd at a party. She mentioned how being SA'd, not telling anyone, not dealing with the trauma, affected the relationship with him. This woman embarrassed herself on a public platform. This is from Lucci. I want to say it's Lucci, Luci. Maybe it's Lucy. This woman embarrassed herself on a public platform defending her husband and was embarrassed by him dropping her and moving on publicly. Like he literally discarded her. You were in this deep rabbit hole of this abuse, but you were also playing along. But it's almost like she said she doesn't know if she would be here if she was continued to stay with him, but you didn't leave. He discarded you. He got rid of you. You would have still been in it, riding and dying. You would have still been in it, fighting this fight. Like, I don't know if you were fighting to see who was going to die first from the trauma and the abuse, but it's like I have so many questions. What were you, I need to understand, but it's like you can't really understand. It's irrational thinking. It's irrational thinking to fight for the affection of somebody who's abusing you, and it does come from childhood. And when you listen to that story of her saying her father didn't pay attention to her, you are vying for the attention of someone who harms you, who's doing things to harm you physically, mentally, financially, psychologically, emotionally. And instead of confronting the issue, you lie to him and say you're grieving your father when he finally is like comforting you. You just want him to touch you and comfort you, but you're not going to tell him, I just witnessed you. I went through your phone and I witnessed you having sex with another woman, multiple women. Yikes. A real tragedy is the ease with which men can dehumanize women. It's not exactly the same the other way around because we have to think of our future sons. In fact, we are so desperate to humanize men, we attribute qualities to them that don't exist within them. Girl, you said a word, Z. You said a word. That's what Cher said. She said she doesn't make it her business to attribute qualities to a man that she hasn't seen him exhibit. This is what she's saying. Cher said the same thing. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Cher said the same thing. I don't give attributes and accolades to men who don't deserve it. I'm about to let you hear it. Where is it? Here she goes. Men qualities that they don't deserve, you know. Here she goes. Listen, I don't give men qualities that they don't deserve, you know. I don't give men qualities that they don't deserve. But just like she says, we spend time humanizing men because we have sons. So we try to humanize, where men generally, they'll dehumanize a woman in a heartbeat. That was a cute car. She's right. I agree with that. When she says she played back and forth games with him, I was like, yep, they needed to be chosen. The crazy thing about the situation was that he was her cause and cure. I really did enjoy her interview because through it all, she's downright delightful. She was very phenomenal. With all the symptoms she mentioned, for her to say she wasn't diagnosed with anything other than postpartum depression is what got me. Those three therapists were definitely not real therapists. Yeah, I don't believe she was diagnosed with anything, but there's something to be said, literally, like that has to be studied, where you're willing to endure abuse, put your life at risk, and you're fighting. What are you fighting for? For this man to love you and to show you some love and respect? He's incapable of that. And he has shown you for 14 years that that is not what he values. It's not. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. Right here before. This is from May Yamashita. She says, one question I really wish the host asked her was, how do you feel about the content he was making, knowing he wasn't practicing anything he was preaching? Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. She said she didn't know she could set boundaries, but he talked about that type of thing in his videos. He was teaching women how to stay away from men like him, and his own wife didn't realize the hypocrisy. I hope she finds some peace and doesn't replace it with toxic religion. Too much of anything, even a good thing, can become unhealthy. You're right about that. Passing women on the stairs when they were separated when she got pregnant. She had a standing D appointment. She confronted him about all she had found over the years. He was shocked. She knew about all the times he cheated and never said anything. So sad to know she kept all that for years. I think part of it too was religion, a lifestyle, you wanting to feel like I'm going to win, even though he's not choosing you, you being attached to him. That's like pick me. You being attached to him, even though he hasn't really picked you or chose you, you being attached to him as in being married is like he picked you. But in his actions, he's not choosing you. He's choosing everybody. He's choosing everybody. And you feel like you won something because you have his last name. His last name actually is worthless. If I were her, I would change my last name. But she's still in the mentality that under the eyes of God, she's still married to him. Girl, I really hope she's in the therapy, and I really hope Jesus is not her therapist, and I hope her pastor is not her counselor. You can go to them for the religious side of things, but you need a licensed therapist, honey. You do. You really do, and need to be in there. I would prescribe 2 years of therapy, at least 2 years, because you were in something for 14 years, and almost like that's like saying to, an alcoholic or an addict of some sort, you were addicted to this behavior, to this abuse for all of these years. You were in this abusive situation. You were in this rabbit hole for 14 years, and you come out of the rabbit hole and you think in 18 months you're healed. No, you're healing. You're not healed. No way. Not in that short amount of time. She was probably coming home and didn't know she was in the house. Nonetheless, once he found out, she knew. He elevated the cheating. Right, because he was using his platform to access more women. And the shit that he's saying out of his mouth for a pick me, oh my God, he's saying everything. He understands. And I'm going to send him a DM and be like, oh my God, Derick, I can't believe how smart you are. You understand what I've been going through. And then he hits you back up. And now y'all fucking. And then you're at conventions, because she started going to, his speaking engagements with him. Said that women would be rubbing on him and everything like that, and he wouldn't even stop them. And she would have to peep her head and be like, I'm his wife. And they're like, girl, no. Well, we sharing them, bitch. Basically, the fact that she went back to him. You left for 8 months, went back to him. He's the one who asked for a divorce, and you said okay. I thought I was the only person cringing about the laughter. Like you said, he might have been nervous. I noticed Black people, we laugh to cover up trauma. I feel like laughter is a trauma response. Misty said that. The men of their community have yet to hold him accountable. Wasn't he supposed to start doing something with TD Jakes? I wonder why TD Jakes doesn't interview him and talk to him about how he was showing up in his marriage. Especially how he completely abandoned her and their children. He's still making content too. I think the interviewer is using her for clicks and views too. Shout out to 2Ls. Very clever the way she's rebranding herself from a homely, long-suffering wife to a highly styled, strong, more confident woman. No, I feel like she is one of those women who, in her mind, I'm going to fight these other women. They are not going to get him. They're not going to get him. I'm going to do shit to make him jealous. I'm going to study the women he has sex with. I'm not going to break up with him. I'm not breaking up with him. I'm going to study these women that he's having probably raw sex with, and I'm going to try to mimic their behavior. She even said it. When you get to that point, you're gone. You are gone. And you isolate yourself so you don't have anybody like me around being like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? You need to leave him. Fuck trying to screw like the women he's screwing. Get your shit and get the F out that house and go to your mama's house in Denver, okay? And stay there until you can get your shit together. You don't have people like that around. And if you go to the church, unfortunately, they are going to give you advice that serves him over you and try to convince you to stay in a relationship that doesn't serve you. The interviewer asked her if he came to you and was like, I'll give you everything you need. I'll support you, take care of the kids, be there for the kids. But I need to sleep with other women. She said, what scripture is that? So she's still like trying to follow the Bible. I went to her page. She does, she got the Bible in her hand. She, I guess, calls herself dressing modestly and stuff like that. But she's still in the pick me realm. I'm really glad that she said that she's not wanting to date right now. She wants to be on her own right now. That is imperative. We know this. Then she said her ex-husband showed her he didn't want her before she got pregnant by openly dating other women, and she still wanted him. We all know this type of woman, cunning and calculating, the type that chooses to ignore all kind of obvious lies and excuses the guy she's obsessed with. Okay, she's on the right track. This is Cynthia. She wanted the popular, handsome guy and wasn't letting his involvement with other women get in her way. This is a literal pick me, right? And who ended up being abused, right? And it's a part, like I said, she was playing a part in this game. It's really crazy. She wanted the popular, handsome guy and wasn't letting his involvement with other women get in her way. She probably passed the chick on the stairs with a smirk on her face. You know the type. It takes great mental strength not to confront a cheater. This isn't a weak-minded woman that's brainwashed. She's the epitome of a pick-me. There's no amount of embarrassment or humiliation that would have caused her to leave him. She's not a victim. I applaud her for admitting that. Seems like she's always being fiercely determined to have him at any cost. She seems highly intelligent and probably helped him write some of the stuff on relationships. I feel like she helped him write those books. I do. It's doubtful that he wasn't getting advice from his smart wife. She's attractive and sounds good on camera when she's not sending out negative energy and cursing people. I'm sure she has a bigger plan for her story, maybe reality TV or her own podcast. Yeah, this is a good comment. Shout out to Cynthia for this comment. Yeah, because when you look at the second part and you see what she was doing, like that's why it's important not to get rid of your friend group when you start dating somebody. And then she started dating him when she was 19. Like I keep thinking about her just being 33 years old and like your 20s, and then you keep having kids. I promise you, Derrick Jackson got some other kids running around Atlanta. You making lists at the damn kitchen table, ma'am. You are too far gone, and you don't have anybody around you to tug on you and be like, girl, what the F are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because one, you know that you're doing something that you should not be doing. You're participating in this weird ass relationship. You're being mistreated in this weird ass relationship, and you still trying to hold on to this person that is mistreating you in the name of what? In the name of what? Why did you feel like you needed to hold on to him as he continued to mistreat you? What was the motivation for continuing for 14 years? Like I said, it didn't seem like there was a point at any time in their relationship where he wasn't abusing her by cheating on her. And then, oh, he finally picked me. I won. I can't do it. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.